Hello and welcome to LionWing Plays, a weekly show where we play LionWing games. This is episode 5 coming at you. I'm Bradley Hailstorm. I'm the founder and president of LionWing, and tonight we are playing some more Gun and Gun, and for good reason too. I say good reason because maybe you heard the news. We've got a tournament coming up. Not only our first Gun and Gun tournament, but our first organized tournament at all for LionWing. So this is exciting times are upon us. Exciting times are upon us because a lot of our games are finally coming into backers and will be coming into backers over the next 6 weeks or so. But also because we're putting on this tournament for LionWing. And so this will be a casual tournament, but we are offering prizes for it. So there's some incentive to play. And hopefully we get in some good competitive matches during the tournament, even though we are just kind of playing for fun. There are prizes on the line though. And so, people want prizes. And that tournament kicks off the middle of this month. I think we're about 2 weeks out from that tournament kicking off. It's going to start off with a round robin, and then it's going to culminate with a bracket on Sunday. So the actual date, I believe it's the week of May 16th is when it kicks off. That's a Sunday. And then we play our final match that following Sunday. So whatever that turns out to be, the 23rd, I think. I don't have a calendar right on me right now, but nevertheless, we're really stoked to be putting on this tournament. Operation Bulletstorm is what we're calling it. This is going to be sort of a prelude to the virtual league that we're going to be running. When we launched the Kickstarter for Gun and Gun, it was our first true competitive card game. And I said to myself, we're launching a competitive card game in the middle of a pandemic. We need some kind of tournament scene. People aren't playing in stores, especially at that point. We were launching in October of last year. So I said, all right, fine. We'll just do it virtually and we'll run the thing. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to run it through Discord. So this first tournament, Operation Bulletstorm, is going to be the precursor to the virtual league. Hopefully we'll be able to see what works, what doesn't work with the tournament, and be able to apply the lessons learned to the larger virtual league, which will come down the pike later in the summer. Tonight, I am joined by not our 2 community leads, like in our past 4 episodes. Normally I'm here with our community leads, Real Beans and Sin Theory. They are on assignment tonight, let's say, and instead I am joined by 2 of our faithful community members, Fry Guy Fern, and you probably have seen him, at least with the theory crafting video that we just put up a couple days ago, Af. They're both from the Discord. They both have been playing quite a bit of Gun and Gun. I think they're both signed up for the tournament. I hope you guys are signed up for the tournament with as much as you play. And so they are going to be playing some games tonight, and I'm going to be here along for the ride, doing my usual thing on camera duty, throwing in some commentary here and then. But really, we're just going to sit back and watch these 2 play. Now, you may have noticed the screen looks a little different this week. Normally, we are playing 1 set Gun and Gun. Tonight, we're playing 2 set Gun and Gun. Why? Because the tournament is allowing for mirror matches, which means 2 sets are available. Normally, if you're playing 1 set Gun and Gun, you're limited in terms of if your opponent picks a loadout, a character, or a gun, or 2 guns that you wanted to play, you can't play them because they're simply not on the table any longer. Your opponent has control of them. 2 set Gun and Gun, though, allows for any matchups, mirror matchups, whatever you want. If your character picks Rand and you wanted to pick Rand as well, the good news is you can pick Rand still. So that's how the tournament will be laid out, and that's how we're playing it tonight. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks for being willing to do this.
Pleasure, like always.
Yeah, so let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so let's do like we always do, Fern. So let's all do it mysteriously and reveal everything afterward.
Alright, so characters first.
Yep. For the gunners, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put them face down like that. We're gonna have the surprise.
But I believe we get to see who our opponents are first, so...
As you wish.
Right.
So, 1,
so characters.
2, 3.
All right.
Notori Kiriko.
Nice.
Interesting match. I'm so used to seeing Hibana or Ran in people's loadouts that it's going to be nice seeing these 2 square off against one another.
especially since in the core set when we only play with one, it's of course you're gonna see them more, but
Yep.
now it's double set, so
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
more possibilities.
Indeed.
That's for sure. Do you want to put the 2 guns down then, or just one reveal and one reveal?
Yeah, I think it's one at a time.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
How unusual of you
I know, right?
playing grind game. Because for those who don't know, I've played a lot of simulation with Fern, and he always played aggro. And for once, he kind of trolled me off by playing grind game.
Yep.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm going to go with this one. So 1, 2, 3.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes. But not exactly the same one.
Yeah.
Some people would say that Kasane Kiriko is overpowered.
It seems pretty good.
It
Kasane Notori
seems.
is also pretty good.
Yep.
Yep. Especially that with 3 bullets, she can inflict 7 hit because of her ability, because it's whenever you are dealt 3 or more hits. So with the Kasane dealing also 3 damage to the gunner, with Notori it's 1 extra damage. So it can be pretty dangerous with Notori.
Gonna have to start banning Kasane already. Haven't
Oh,
even got
yeah.
to the first tournament.
You haven't seen the half of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bet I
Half
have.
of it.
I bet I have.
Oh yeah. We've been in the lab for an eye, and ooh lord, we uncover some pretty interesting stuff.
There's
Yeah.
some gnarly combos that can happen that I just equate to. I sometimes when we were playtesting, there would be certain combos that would happen, and I felt like I was playing a fighting game where I was the poor like scrub in the corner, just getting like hit with a 32 hit combo, like I was playing Marvel versus Capcom 2 all over again. So I really, I really understand some of the nastiness that can come out, especially with Kasane, and especially with Kiriko.
Yep. We'll have to see. Fern has the first move.
Yep. All right.
Oh
I'm
wait,
looking at one card.
I don't. I just realized I don't know why I put dice on the table. I guess it just by like second nature I was like, oh yeah, we have to roll.
Yeah. All
You
right.
go.
Awesome. I'm gonna start off with a rush.
Ah yes.
Then I'll combo that into a scheme.
All right.
If I could get these cards in a pile. There we go. I'll agitator you.
Yep. So discard 2. Yeah. Discard 2. Draw 1.
Discarding Vigor, huh?
Yes.
I'll bash your Kasane.
Ah, unfortunate.
Load that explosive bullet. Why did that? There we go. Let's see if I want to actually use this or not. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I can still load with the bash, right? I
Yeah, you
just
can
can't.
load, you just can't fire.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Indeed.
Just making sure.
Load an antimatter shot, and I'll shoot you for 6 and force you to discard a Datara card.
All
And I'll
right.
take 1 or 1 off to your recoil and 3 off mine.
Yes, and I lose 6, so down to 24.
Yep. And then end of turn, I'll draw 4 cards. Here you go.
All right. I'm gonna rush for 1, drawing 2.
Mm-hmm.
Rush for 1 damage again, drawing 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in this case, I'm gonna bash U1 for 1.
All right.
Load 2 explosive into the Datara, so taking 2.
Yep.
Setting 1, charging 2. And not gonna shoot for now. At the end of my turn, drawing 5.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
All right. I'll start off with an agitator beam.
Yep. Mm,
Lay down a reaction. Load an antimatter and an antimatter.
yes. Hold up. Just wait a second. I have to discard my cards.
Yep.
Let's discard this and this, drawing 1.
All right. Shoot Kasane at you for 2 damage. I take 1 and mill a Datara card.
All right. Discharge.
Then I will draw 4, I believe. From here.
All right.
Here you go.
My turn. I'm going to start off with Blast,
All right.
discarding your face down reaction.
Yep.
Using Rush, taking 1, drawing 2. I'm going to use Bash again, dealing 1 to myself. Again, on the 1, cannot shoot.
All right.
Loading. Explosive bullet for 1 damage. Mm. Loading 1 extra on the Datara. I'm gonna use sneak attack for 3 damage.
All right.
Then right after that, shooting with the Datara for a total of 5 damage since I have 2 explosive.
Was that 4 shots, full bullets, or
No, it
3?
was 3 of them,
Okay.
so it was 5.
Yep.
Shooting 3 from the Kasane for a total of 7 damage. Well, 8 technically because of my ability.
Yep.
And I'm taking let's see, 4.
Yep.
4? No, I take 3. Right?
Sorry, just got to put these
Ah,
down.
yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
No, no worries, no worries. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, this. Oh, I cannot
Not
even.
enough.
Oh God, no. Oh no, no, no. This is unfortunate.
Oh, that
This is
is
That's what the early
unfortunate.
bashes are for.
this is unfortunate. Oh no, I shouldn't have. Oh no, the misplay. All right. Well, I'm gonna draw the last 2 cards of my Kasane deck and draw the last 3 of them from the Tara, and unfortunately, passing. Oh no, the
That is
misplay.
brutal.
That is me. Every
Oh.
card game misplay.
that was a rookie move, Af.
Uh,
It's all right. It happens to the best of us.
it's always like that with me. I'm like, yeah, always playing alone, testing stuff, but always misplaying. Always.
Let's see what cards I have here. So we're going to activate Vigor,
Yep.
discarding 2 cards. We're going to search 2, put them in hand. So I'll get a Rush and a Scheme.
Okay.
And then I get to load one from the discard. I can't fire that this turn, so I'll just
Yep.
load it there. We'll rush.
Mm-hmm.
That does one
Only one.
damage to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I draw 2 cards. That's what it was. I'll scheme.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna play another rush.
Yep.
Balancing
Another
on
rush.
the edge of a knife, my friend.
But I think because of my misplay, he won the game. I'm pretty sure. I'm
I
pretty
might
sure.
have.
Yeah.
This is a very strange play. Sneak attack you for 3.
Taking one.
Yeah, I take 1. I'm gonna have to last stand here so that I don't kill myself.
Yep. That was what I was expecting. Yep.
Um, Vigor discarding 2 cards. Grabbing 2 cards. Which will be sneak attack and explosive bullet, and then loading a card. Load explosive bullet. Ow.
Ooh.
Load explosive bullet. Ow. Shoot you with Kasane
Going down to
for 8 damage.
yep 2, and you would take like one more, so it's just like
Yeah,
eh,
I'm
but you're still at 0.
yeah. And then so that should be 8, which I think kills you, and if it doesn't, sneak attack kills you.
And yeah. Why did I bash?
Ah.
You else. Oh god.
That was well played.
Well
Well,
played or misplayed?
misplayed on your end, Av. Well played on Ferns.
Oh yeah, I was expecting that. I was like, the only way he could have won this tourney would have drawn the last stand. And when I
Yeah.
saw him draw a lot of cards, I was like, okay, he's digging for it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the misplayed, amazing.
That was a quick game.
Yeah,
Turns out 2 people running Kasane is very quick.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, and
It's like
Af, you were burning through that Kasane deck. Burning through it, man.
Uh-huh.
yeah, that was pretty much the strategy, because I was about to just
Combo off, yep.
yeah,
Yep.
big idea, just getting my health really low and just at the end sneak attack for like a crap ton. Let's say like it's 2 sneak attacks, so it's 6. Getting them back with the big idea, yeah, it would have been like 16 damage. 60 damage for 8 voltage. That's way more value than Senko Anabi from Ibana.
Yep.
Yeah.
Less voltage and more damage output.
Yeah, I mean it was a good plan. It really
Until I
was,
messed up.
but yeah.
Until I messed up, but hey, I'm used to that. I'm used to the messed up. I'm used to that. Oh
It's
god.
funny.
Yep. If you don't mind, Bradley or Fern, we can run it back.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it. Mm.
Silent Frank, thanks for the follow. Good friend. I have not looked at the stream chat. I should probably do that. There we go. Oh yeah, we got some chatter in the
Didn't look at the chat. I was like, I'm gonna play fair like that. I'm not seeing Fern's hand.
Yeah, Sin said rough game.
Rough game.
Uh,
1,
s-
2, 3.
yeah,
Ooh.
Silent Frank. He would have lost, but he had Last Stand. Last Stand's lifesaver. Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Kasane deck is really strong.
Yes, it
Just
is.
for that, a lot of draw, a lot of extra damage. Just overall, good stuff. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Habana and Notori, huh?
I know I'm going last.
1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yep.
I love seeing Hackman on the field.
I know what's coming.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I have a pretty good idea, and I'm like, oh, he's getting out the good sauce, the last dab at the last second, huh?
I was thinking
Uh,
about it. I'm actually going to be
Ooh.
doing this instead because I think it's funnier.
Yes, it's funnier. Let's not show the world our trump card.
That's right. Got a tournament to play.
Uh-huh.
And like Fern and I said, that trump card is only when like we're desperate for a win, like desperate. Because we uncover something and we're like, hold up, that that is pretty nutty. That's
Uh,
no good. Okay, second gun. Let's go with that. 1, 2, 3. Why not? Just killing myself again. Oh yeah, that's right. I didn't pick my skill.
Double Kasane again.
Kasane is just overall really strong. Replace Enra like most of the time, I would say.
Arrow's got its uses.
It does, yeah.
True.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think Kasane, even once overheat hits, will still be a gun that people like to play. I think when overheat enters the mix, I don't know if Kasane will be as appealing, but certainly in the core set, it's very appealing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, you're first.
Yep. Dealing 1 damage to self. Discarding
Uh,
counter to
Spiral Shooter.
Spiral Shooter. Using Ibana's ability, I'm gonna charge 2 from Aquaman's deck. Then, end of my turn, drawing this time 3 from there. Here
All
you go.
right. I'm gonna start off with the scheme.
Yep.
Draw 3 Kasane cards. Then I'll Agitator Beam you.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate since I have a smaller hand this time.
Yep.
Mm, let me put sneak attack down, then draw. Oh yeah, it's discarding 2. Unfortunate again.
Yep.
This draw 1.
Let's see. I'll lay a reaction. Load an explosive bullet. Load 1, 2, considering the third.
I know you want it.
I kinda do.
We've played a lot, Fern. I
Or the
know.
third.
There you go.
Seriously, how much
Uh,
have you all been playing? You're calling each other's moves.
Ah, we did.
shoot you for 7.
7, yeah, 7.
I take 3.
We did play quite a while actually.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Draw 5. Your go.
uh, Unfortunately, you discarded my hand. I hate
Yeah.
that. Let's see what I can do. Load 1, take 1 from explosive bullet. Using Ibana's ability to load 2.
Yep.
Shooting for a modest 2 damage with Kasane and dealing 1 to myself.
Hmm.
Then shooting with Aquaman 4. It's gonna be actually for quite a lot. It's gonna be for 5 because I have Spiral Shooter with that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
So gaining 5.
And then you take 1.
No, I do not have the Kasane, and I already took my damage from the.
Yeah, you take 1 from me because you
Yes, true, true,
hit me
true,
for
true.
3.
Yep, yep, yep.
There you
Then I'm gonna use Boro Bashiri to deal you another 3 damage. I take 1.
go.
Then sorry, right? I was at 7. Yep.
Yeah.
I already used Ibana's ability. At the end of my turn, drawing 3. Here you go.
All right. Let's see. I really should have used that reaction, but oh well. That's fine. We'll save it. I'll scheme, discarding a destruction beam.
Yep. I don't like what you say when you said that. Normally, when you just play scheme, you don't say the card you discard, but this time you're like, destruction beam. What you planning, Fern?
I
What
don't
are
know.
you planning?
I actually have no idea what I'm planning anymore. I'll agitator beam you.
Again.
Yep.
God damn it. Okay. Uh, this is gonna be unfortunate, right? Discard. Discard. Draw 1.
Have to remember what's in here, right? Got some good stuff. I need to add what? 4 cards to voltage. I can do that. Load an explosive shot, take 1.
Mm-hmm.
Loaded antimatter. Load a card. Fire Uwan at you for 4.
Yep.
Alright, and I'll say 4 on Kazane. Then fire Kasane at you for 4. I take 2 and mill you 1 on Kasane.
And the whole deck, just 1 card. All right.
Yep. And then I'll big idea since I have 7 cards in my voltage.
Mm-hmm. You're doing the right play, not misplaying like
I'll
me in the
grab
last game.
4
That's
cards,
right.
which will be a vigor,
Mm-hmm.
a scheme, an agitator.
And another one since you have
Yes, 1 more card that I need to think about. Could just take another scheme, or I could just take another agitator to mess with you.
well, at this point I couldn't discard like 4 cards. I'm only gonna discard.
Yeah, it'd just be a mill one.
Yeah.
Should be strange, but
But knowing you, I'm probably you're gonna pick this scheme.
I
Like you're
loaded
gonna
it too.
like you're gonna pick another scheme.
I'm thinking about picking another scheme. I'll pick another scheme.
Indeed, Bradley. We did play a lot together.
Yeah.
I'll
A little too
scheme
much,
a
I
blast
think.
away to draw 3.
Too much? No, of course not.
Okay, here we go.
It's not what you want to hear.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
Agitator, you?
Ah, yes, unfortunate. Trying, let's say, the one from here.
Rush. Drawing 2. Rush. Drawing 2. Rush. Drawing 2. There we go.
Nice.
Play the last stand because I just drew it. Scheme away. A blast. Draw 3.
I don't like that.
Overload orb. Overload orb. Sneak attack you for 3. Bigger. Discarding 2 cards. Looking for more cards. I'll take the sneak attack. And let's see, I know you have that one, so I might as well just take the last stand here. Hold on to it. I'll not last stand. I'll sneak attack you. There we go.
3 damage again.
Yep.
And
Load
you
one
are
more card into Kasane, and that's all my loads for the turn. Lay down one more reaction, and then draw 4 cards.
I'm just gonna do something. There you go.
Oh.
Just to say that you are in the effect of the last stand.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Is it really the last card?
Well, you left me with only 1 card in hand.
No,
That's
sorry. The last card in my hand is there in my deck is I think the other sneak attack.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Am I right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh. I think in either cases, I'm gonna lose either way. You have a last stand, so I cannot like, even if I'm lucky, I cannot push for that 10 damage.
Yep.
And you have a sneak attack in hand for sure.
I don't.
And
It's the last card.
oh, it's the last card, huh?
Yep.
Well, in either cases, you probably have some draw. And you have some weird reactions, so it's just
Play it out.
yeah, I'm just loading for 2, shoot Kasane for 1. I'm getting 2, and
Yeah,
I'm
I take
getting
2.
1. Dealing 5.
Yep. And you take 1.
Oh, actually, wait, hold up. Actually, I was dealing for 3 damage and not
Oh yes, spiral shooter. Yep.
spiral shooter. And doesn't matter. Drawing 3 from Aquaman. This your go.
Yeah, I totally forgot to use my reactions again.
See this? See the misplay you are doing is not that bad. Me, it
No.
cost me the game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. If
uh,
there's a misplay to do, that's the one.
Overload orbs. I'll mill 2 from Huckman.
there you go.
And then going to start off with a vigor.
Yep.
Discarding 2 cards.
I told you. You had the draw. You had the draw for it.
Yep. Grabbing a sneak attack and a rush. Yeah. Rushing. Oh wait, I get to load one first. Rushing in for 2 cards.
You're totally gonna play with your food, huh?
Oh, explosive bullet.
Oh, did you activate the last stand or no? I
I'm still protected by last turn's last stand.
True. I was like,
Yep.
hold up.
Last stand till the end of your next turn.
Yep.
Oh, this is loaded face down.
Which
And
is a
then
bit strong.
fire this at you for 7, and then this at you for 3.
Hold up. There you go. Then milling one from Kasane, but we don't care.
Yeah.
And
That was
how many damage from the one?
that was 3.
3. So there you go.
Yep.
Oh boy. I'm
Oh boy.
let's see. I'm 2 for 6 against Fern. 2
Well,
for 6? No, I'm more like 2 for 14, something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember.
I do.
I was gonna say 2 for 6. Like it could be worse. 2 for 14. I mean, that's a little.
Well,
that's tough.
I might exaggerate a bit, but yeah, we did play a lot of game testing some stuff out, and we're like, I just kept losing because we did find some. Like I said, we did find a trump card for the tournament, and
Sort of.
yeah, sort of. Well, sort of. No, it is not sort of. It is. But yeah,
I was supposed to grab the other vigor with the flashes, but I forgot to.
I had pretty much nothing for this round unless loading and
Uh,
trying to do damage, but you had the last end effect.
mhm.
Yeah.
You beat me again.
Last stand, man.
Last end, Notori, and Kasane is just
Yeah.
a good.
That's a good
stuff.
combination.
Yep.
Wow.
And especially with Notori's effect, Notori's end, and for those who didn't watch the theory crafting, I said again and again that the speed of the gunners does not matter much unless you want to have some first move advantage, but most of the time big hand equals better setup, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say hands is more significant than agility.
hmm Well,
Yeah,
especially since all the gunners have different agility, so it doesn't matter for the weight of the gunner. The only scenario I would see that it's gonna matter, it's gonna be for mirrors.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and I think there's one. I'm trying to think back now. I mean, we were playtesting last summer, so it's all a little fuzzy at this point. But I remember agility coming in handy for one loadout in specific, and I wish I could remember off the top of my head which loadout that was, where we found that it was actually not a game changer, but you could, well, sort of like what you were alluding to, Af. You can get off to an early lead, and I wish I could remember that loadout. I know I've got it in a spreadsheet somewhere, but you are right. I mean, I think hands is the far more critical stat to pay attention to.
hmm And Notori again just pushing through. Like you see, guys, I did the previous game that we played. I was Notori. I misplayed, but else I would have won. And
Mhm.
a similar scenario that Fern did right there, and Fern just doing again with the last end clutch. Just strong. Just the Kasane shotgun in Notori is just amazing.
Yeah, people talk about Kiriko and Kasane being like the loadout to go to, and I think Kiriko Kasane is very good. I never found that I couldn't effectively deal with that loadout most of the time. So I think I think there are a couple loadouts that utilize Kasane that are pretty good. It doesn't just have to be Kasane and Kiriko like some people have mentioned, though that is a good loadout. As we've seen, though, Notori and Kasane is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty.
I would say it's the better out of the two loadouts. Just because of the additional damage from
Probably.
Victoria's effect. It's pushing for more damage, and after that, her skill cards are just useful for recycling some useful cards like Fern beautifully.
Big idea, vigor, sneak attack is an amazing combo.
It is. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
What's funny is I feel like people really sleep on the big idea. I don't know why, but like in all of the playtesting sessions that I did with my team, but then also just like fielding it out to other people who are not part of the team just to see how they would play the game. Like, I'm not kidding. The big idea was rarely chosen. Now that's probably because like people didn't know the game super well and they were just playing for the first time. And when you're just looking at the cards for the first time, the big idea doesn't seem all that great a card because you don't have context for like loadouts and what you can combo off of that. But even still, even once once my playtesting team got, used to the game and kind of knew all the cards, I still found that the folks didn't choose the big idea a lot. I think bad medicine is deceiving, and that like people see that ongoing effect and they're like, oh, that's the one. That's the one that I've got to pick, right? I'm personally a big fan of good medicine. In fact, I actually think that I would choose good medicine over the big idea most of the time, just because it fit my playstyle a little bit better. But still, it's one of those things that like I think people see the big idea and like in a vacuum, they're like, meh, that card's whatever. And it's like, no, that card is something to be scared of.
Because again, Fern and I discovered that while playtesting again. We played a lot with Notori and the Kasane since they are the two new cards added to the core set that we didn't have at first, and we both realized that bad medicine is like
The
in
worst
a lot
option.
yeah, in a lot of cases it is going to be the worst option because simply because of the on how slow it is. Unless you have a game and you can play the grind game efficiently,
Mhm.
bad idea most of the time is going to be the worst card picked for like every scenario playing Notori. And most of the time we realize that bad idea, not big bad idea, but the big idea and good medicine is far more superior in all resources and shenanigans that can happen.
Yeah.
And they're both amazing for different reasons. And in my opinion, big idea is a little bit better most of the time. But good medicine has crazy uses.
Yeah,
Mm,
it really does. They're both super good. I think anytime that someone reveals either one of them, I'm like, oh shit, okay, all right, now I gotta up my game. But it is bad medicine. I feel like people are like, oh yeah, watch me flip this thing over, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I watched it. Cool, good for you. Bad medicine does have some uses, though. Certainly not with Kasane and the loadout. I think bad medicine is very situational, and I think its efficacy is only significant with select few loadouts. But certainly, if you're running Kasane, you probably don't want to be running bad medicine. It just doesn't make any sense. So, hey, those were good games. Those were good games. I can definitely tell y'all been playing. I feel bad for whoever gets matched up with you in the in the week one round robin.
yeah, I was talking to Fern when we were playtesting. I was like, if I end up against you in the tournament, you know that I'm going to like we're gonna probably gonna have a mirror match or something
Yep.
because we were like, okay, we found that stuff, cool, but if we end up like in the early rounds playing against each other, we're gonna be like, oh well, Fern, GG, you're going to represent us. Let's go, boy. I'm gonna lose either way. I'm still gonna play, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose either way. So I'm probably just gonna play some crazy loadout and be like, well, I knew I was about to lose. I just lose in fashion. uh, but yeah, the just overall, I think Notori is gonna be the most picked gunner around for the tournament, unless people like Sin loves his aggression strategy. He might look at Notori and be like, it might be the better Ibana in this case. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that.
yeah. I think that might be true now. I mean, hell, it might be true now, because we put it out to the universe. But even if people just naturally gravitated toward Notori, I got to be honest. So like I said, it's been many months since I've like really like played and was digging into stuff. But when I would go up against Notori, like I don't know, I was never all that like scared of Notori.
Mm.
I was more afraid of Hibana most of the time and a little bit of Kiriko, but like Ran I never got nervous when like that was revealed as my opponent, and I never really got nervous with Notori either. So I don't know. I guess it depends on how you play the game and what your loadout is. Certainly there's some stuff that's inherently just good no matter how you play the game. And Notori is good without a doubt. I'll be interested to see if people, yeah, find her as alluring as, yeah, as you're saying. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. But if people are watching right now thinking like, okay, well, I better play Notori for the tournament because that's going to be the only way I'm going to win, I do not think that's true at all.
I agree on this. I
There's
I
plenty of
totally
good
agree.
loadouts.
Yeah, like Fern and I tested. There's plenty of good loadout and good synergy. The only thing is that people might get attracted to Notori and just Notori in general, just because of that end size. And starting with 5 of N compared to like let's say 3 from Ibana. Let's say that I'm getting lucky and I have Notori and Aquaman. Turn 1 I can easily, without even stressing, setting up a auto cannon and just chip damage right off the bat. Just because of that 5 of hand, I can like use it efficiently and be like, okay, well, I have this set up. I know I'm gonna win at least in 6 turn unless my opponent gets some health back. But since I have a big end, I have like resources, so I can like push that damage back
For
of
sure.
anything that they're getting. So yeah, I would say that Notori is good. Notori and Kiriko are probably the most, I wouldn't say easy, but the most like first player friendly for gun and gun, since they have like big end size, and gunner with lesser end size are tilted to be more of a, not unliability, but more of a, how can I say it? It's just weird having like less resources than someone who started with, oh, a free mulligan or a big 5 of end. It's really like you're already, you're like in disadvantage in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting from underneath a little bit
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
that can cost you the game easily. With Kiriko it's just good just because of that mulligan effect, and Notori is just 5 of end. You can set up auto cannon real easily. You can set up a lot of stuff, and like sorry, Fern played a couple of times in the match, couple of time vigor, a couple of times a lot of cards that like, oh, discard two to do that effect, but he was getting his value back just to have a better setup to finishing me off quicker. So yeah, I would say Notori is afraid, is a menace, is the gunner to probably go to for the tournament. But that's for the core set again. If we, when we're gonna get our gun and gun stuff and we play the virtual league with the overeat stuff, there's probably gonna be a lot of mixed up going around.
Yeah, so I mean, so once the virtual league hits, certainly we are going to be playing with the core set and overheat, so that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that Notori will win the tournament, but hey, you never know. You never know. Although if she's played like she was played tonight, people are gonna have their
Yeah.
hands full.
Oh yeah, and like I said, Fern and I are hiding a trump card for the people in the tournament.
Yes, yes.
I did have a ruling question because we've been playing Clearview in a way, and I wanted to make sure we were playing it correctly.
All right, throw up Clearview real quick.
Yeah. Here it is. It's a Datara gun or card. So,
How you been playing it?
so when you're playing Notori and you have 3 cards loaded into Kasane, and you fire it, you hit them for 6 and they discard a card. You take 3, so you hit them for 1 and they discard another card.
Me, like I was explaining to Fern, I was like, you're discarding me 2 cards because it's like
Yeah.
2 separate effects. It's not like an additional it from the gun. So I was saying, yeah, you're discarding me 2 cards and not like 1 because of that 7 damage.
It is, yeah. That's how it is played.
Yeah, because it's 6 and then 1, which
Uh-huh.
means 2 separate instances, which
Yep.
means Clearview is 2 cards at least for that.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. That's why Clearview is awesome. Well, can be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite Datara cards.
Yeah,
There's a lot of cards from the tower that are just getting my headache. Like when we were playing together again, we tried a lot with the Datara because of all the theory crafting and all the mathematics I was putting out in the spreadsheet.
Mhm.
And yeah, Datara, like I said in the video, is probably the better gun for disruption. And oh my god, I was biting my nails each time I was seeing Fern playing the Datara. I was like, okay, nice. I'm just gonna have a super hard time. Oh god.
Yeah. So, what did you find? All right. So, I've made no bones about it. Datara is my favorite gun in the core set. What did you? Have you all played Datara running against Kasane?
We played
Yeah.
Datara with Kasane.
Okay. Did anyone play Datara opposite of Kasane?
Yep.
Yes.
What'd you find?
It helps.
It helps, but not that much.
Yeah. What did
It
you find helped?
Um,
Do you
I would
remember?
say the last ends for sure helps,
Mm.
but the matchup Datara versus Kasane, is just rough. What we found out is that the better matchup for Datara would be another Datara. It would be the only way possible to at least slow down the player to disrupt you by disrupting them first.
Mhm.
And weirdly enough, the Kasane has like a good deck, like we said multiple times, but it helps, like Fern said, but not that much. I would say the better matchup against the Datara is another Datara, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Unless we're missing on something.
Okay. So one of my, I don't think this was all that popular, but a loadout that I liked to run, or at least when it came to guns, was Hakumen Tataro, and which is a weird loadout because there's not a lot of apparent synergy. But I found that Hakumen Tatara, and this is why I was asking how well you found Tatara performing against Kasane, because I always found that I could mitigate a lot of Kasane's brutality with that loadout. And now I'd usually run Kiriko or Hibana with those two. And I found that I was able to, deal with Kasane pretty effectively. Not every game. Sometimes I get outplayed. Other times I would outplay the person wielding Kasane. It's a weird loadout, but I found that it could actually be pretty successful against Kasane. And I wish I had like all of my stats pulled up here of what I found to be specifically helpful about that loadout against Kasane. But I liked playing that loadout just in general. This is not related, so I'm jumping topic here for just a second because I'm also keeping track of the chat. Have you guys played a bunch over the weekend, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was like what last week or the 2 weeks before that. We played a
Something
lot,
like
and after
that.
that we did like a big pause, and we are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you all happen to record the stats of those games?
I think we added them to the spreadsheet.
Sweet.
I didn't added them because most of the time we were just
Are we
we
specifically doing
yeah
one matchup?
yeah, we were
Oh, okay.
doing one
Okay.
matchup because again we found a problematic matchup, which is aka the trump card,
Hmm.
and we were trying to be like, okay, so if people are knowing of that loadout, what we can do or what we can run to counter that. So we were trying just a bunch of stuff, and each time it was like loss, 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 loss. There was nothing stopping that. Again, it's just crazy, and I hope people are gonna, or maybe something if someone else in the Discord found it before us, but
Are you talking about
that
the 30-ish hit combo?
no, 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 that's not it. That's not it.
Okay.
Not even that combo can compare to the one that we found.
Okay.
It's
There's a
another
few.
one. Yeah, there's a few, but again, there's one specific loadout that we just tried to break. That's like we tried to destroy, and we didn't register all those matchups, unfortunately, because I thought that I could have entered the data no problem, but I found out that since it was not biased, but we were just
It would have just
doing the
been the
same.
Tory winning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That wouldn't have been helpful data to capture, given
yeah,
the
exactly.
circumstances. Okay. Yeah. Shoot me what you think this trump card is. I'm curious which one, because I think there's a I think there's a couple really less than a handful, but more than a couple things that you can do in this game that can that can take the game in like one turn. About.
So Fern, let's have a little console right here. So, are we showing the trump card to everyone?
We can. I feel like it's fine
Okay, let's do this.
because
So
you have to play it well.
I'm just gonna load it like a free, fresh one, like that. It's not chaotic. So Fern, I'll let you talk for this one since you were the big mastermind behind it.
Okay. So, if you're talking about the 30 hit combo, if that's a Tory combo, we also came up with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, there's also a last stand loop.
Well, I think we were beginning to see a little bit of that in that last game.
Uh,
Yeah, but not in the extent of what we
this
found
one's
technically.
almost indefinite.
Yeah, it's just the only thing that's gonna affect the loop is how much voltage you're going to do.
Yeah.
So Fern is gonna explain it more in detail, but basically the loop of last stand, you're pretty much at your deck out. You have no health, but you can loop last stand. The max that we did was looping last stand for 13 times, back to back to back to back to back.
Hmm.
And Fern is gonna demonstrate it to all of you guys.
So, the idea is early on you're going to be taking 5 cards very quickly and just basically loading them in and shooting them, getting as much into your voltage as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and just digging through your cards as fast as possible. I think we went with like 8 voltage.
We started at 8 voltage.
Yeah. And then so you're just gonna want last stand and 4 other cards. Like other cards help with this, but basically if all your cards are in your deck or your graveyard, and you got last stand and some cards.
And it could be random ones, but we found out that if you want those 4 cards, like those 3 random cards in your hand, take like poison shot, free shot, or some stuff like that. Your opponent is
Yeah,
not gonna.
it's good to have the Tara bullets if you're
Yep.
doing this, but we also considered having 2 loaded into the Tara just to make it a little bit faster. So if you're on your last turn, you got no cards essentially, and you last stand, so that whenever you draw your final cards, you're not dead.
Let me just put
That last stand's in the grave.
do it.
You
I'm
just
just gonna
wanna
pull out the.
yeah
I'm just gonna pull out the dice.
clear this at 0. You're loading into Datara and into Kasane. You fire Datara. That gets you a dig at the end of your turn. If you've got 4, you good medicine. Gets rid of 4 of the cards from Voltage. You put Last Stand and 3 other random Kasane cards back in your deck. And then you draw those cards. And then you dig a thing. And so you have Last Stand again. When your turn comes back, wait, these actually shouldn't be, because they don't matter. When your turn comes back, you load 2 cards into Datara. You activate Last Stand again for 1 card. You load into Kasane, you shoot Kasane just to get the cards into the Voltage. You activate Good Medicine again. Put 4 cards in. Grab Last Stand, you grab 3 cards. And you're still invulnerable. So you move on to your next turn, you activate Last Stand again. You Datara for 2 cards. You fire them off, that's 4, so you're getting the dig. You activate Good Medicine again. You grab Last Stand and 3 Kasane cards. And at the end of the turn, you dig. So you got 5 cards, and you just keep doing this over and over again. And it only costs about 1 voltage every time you do it. And you're just
And-
getting Last Stand every turn and getting a little bit of chip damage in.
Yeah.
Yep. And the loop is repeatable for X, which is the amount of voltage that you start the loop with. So let's say you have 13 voltage, well, you can loop that thing 13 times.
Yep.
So
And
that's
this just keeps going. There are some counters, which is nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's some counters to this.
but it's
Yeah.
hard to counter it either way. Because we
Critical
tried
Strike, Paralysis Shot, Freeze Shot works a little bit.
there's also the what is it again? The skill card from Hibana.
Kage Hisomi.
Yes, Kage
Yeah.
Somi.
Because that just gets rid of Last Stand, so they just die when you use it.
So yeah, we tried also. So when we found that loop, we were like, okay, what are the cards that can be problematic? Okay, so mirror match Datara, the poison shot, paralysis shot from Enra that can help a bit. So we're just trying to build a countermeasure for that build, and in either cases, I could also be just a bad player, but most of the time we couldn't break the loop, we couldn't break the combo.
Mainly because Datara is just so good at things. Like you can clear view to discard 2, you can clear view sneak attack to make them discard more cards. The fact that there's so much discard in Datara is neat, which means that Datara is the only solution.
Yeah.
And
You mean
Oh.
Not the
the only solution to breaking the cycle?
Yep.
It's not the only solution to breaking the cycle. It's just like the best solution against this like loadout.
yeah, just to slow it down,
Mm-hmm.
basically. It's not to break it. There's not much that can break it unless the Kage Isomi. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only solution to break the loop. Let's say that the loop is already begun. You can just Kage Isomi to nullify the effect and just do a bit of damage, and or just skip turn and done since they're gonna deck out. But most of the time, the loop is like let's say that the Datara player is discarding you for your voltage. Okay, well you have to keep up that momentum of, oh,
Right.
I have less card, so I cannot load my voltage as properly as I wanted. And there's like a lot of disruption in the Datara deck that slows down the progression of even trying to push or break the loop. So yeah,
Yeah.
that is it. That is the trump card, aka the last stand the loop.
There are some good ones. Like a single paralysis shot technically beats it too, but
Yeah, I was gonna say there's actually a couple things you can do with that.
yep, absolutely.
We're not saying it's unbeatable.
But
We're
it
just
is
saying
it's
that
good.
it
It-
is really strong.
It's really
Rather
good.
hilarious because the mirror matchup is just both players are invulnerable the entire time.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes for a really boring match.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just going to be a battle of patience of which player is going to concede first because they're tired of playing that match. They're like, okay, man, are you going to stop laughing? I'm like, no, I want that W. I want that win. They're going to be like, oh, fine. I give it to you.
I mean, the quickest and easiest way to counter this is you play single set gun and gun,
Yep.
Yeah,
and
that would be the
you
that would be the
counterpick,
only matter.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You lock one of those cards down.
That would be the only matchup. That would be like the only way of doing that. But since Virtual League is technically 2 core set, even for the tournament it's 2 core set, it's gonna be a little bit harder to play around that.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
other thing is to kill them like from above 10 to dead.
Yeah.
Because last stand
Yeah.
can only work if you're under 10.
Yes, that's one of the key ways
Yep.
to do it. So I so I know of the last stand loop. I actually didn't know that you could do it like up to 13 times. I don't know
Well,
if we
technically it's more than that. Technically it would be more than that, but it's as we
dependent on your
calculate.
volt. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Since it's only using 1 voltage. So it's like, oh, you have let's say 20 in your voltage when you can loop it 20 times.
I think when we found it, I think we got to like, I don't even remember. It was like a handful of loops. And I think we just concluded like, oh, you can just do this indefinitely. Not even testing out like, well, let's see how many we can actually do it. So I think we all just assumed like this would just go on in perpetuity. But
Sadly, no. Sadly, no.
yeah,
It has its limits.
Mhm.
yeah. So one of the ways that so there are several ways to deal with it, as you guys were mentioning. More than a handful of ways, actually. But one of the easiest ways that I found, just because I didn't want to deal with it, is you just do a big hit, which sort of like this. You got to pull the right cards at the right time, and you got to make sure your plays are good. So you have to be sort of a skilled player, just like you got to be a bit of a skilled player to make this situation happen. Although I think it's a little easier to get into this situation even without being like a super skilled player. I think you can get into this all right. The counters to it, most of them have to be pretty like skilled playing, and a lot of move reading. I'm curious to see how much it comes out in the tournament, if it comes out in the tournament. And the tournament, is going to be a great opportunity. I was mentioning this at the beginning. It's going to be a great opportunity to figure out, I said, what works and doesn't work. And not only was I talking about like the logistics end of the tournament, but also just like what won't be able to work for the virtual league in terms of what can actually be played. So now, all of this I won't say is moot, but it certainly gets a little closer to that when you introduce overheat and the 3 new guns, the 2 new gunners, and the 6 new skills, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of ways, not a lot, but you got a lot of ways to deal with this kind of thing, as well as to deal with a couple other seemingly unstoppable plays, because there's about a handful of those in overall with the core set. So overheat really shifts things around, especially with like with the burn mechanic, and break to a lesser degree.
Yeah, I was for breaking that loop. I was more thinking about the break thing since it can like discard your voltage, so like that you can like slow down the opponent player of doing their skill cards.
You
Again,
can,
it's no damage, but it's better than nothing.
yeah, and I mean, and we'll get into this once more people play overheat and kind of see what it is. But break isn't necessarily like a damage oriented skill. It can be used in a multitude of ways, but that is one of the ways is mitigating kind of voltage build, which is cool. So we'll see what happens in the tournament. I think the tournament will be a good understanding of what might happen in the virtual league. We might have to, make some adjustments, but I'm not willing to do that until I see what plays out. Y'all have played a lot of gun and gun, which is awesome. Af, I hope you're not really 2-14.
I'm probably exaggerating a bit, but I'm more like let's say two for 10, something like that. I'm not 2 for 14
All
yet.
right, all right,
I
all
would
right.
say yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yet. It's just until it just when we're playing, Fern discovered that loop, and we're like, oh, so that's was my 06 streak of losing against him was that
Okay,
was it.
Yeah, I just play Notori Kasane right now. It's just super fun.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. All right, so it is 10:24. That is going to bring us to the end of this LionWing Plays. Thanks again to Af and Fry Guy Fern for joining us, for jumping in and filling in. I'm sure Sin and or Real Beans will be back next week, but we are always inviting folks from the community to play on stream. I think we've done that pretty much every show at least once. Last week, I think we did it a couple times. A couple games were just folks not LionWing team related. So if you're wanting to play and you want to play on stream, hit us up. Drop me a message in Discord or just join the Discord and say something in the Gun and Gun channel. Everyone's more than willing to kind of help out. And if you want to get on stream, I'm definitely down with that too. So we will be back next week. We're going to be sending out some more notifications about the tournament and whatnot. We actually got a bit of a surge in signups over the weekend, which was cool. A couple days after the original announcement. So the tournament's kind of building out nicely, exceeding, I think, my expectations for who would turn out, how many people would turn out. So I'm excited about what that has to offer. I'm getting the prizes made this week, so I'm hoping to have those in shortly. I don't know if I'll have those in before the tournament kicks off or during the tournament. If my timeline's right, I'll probably end up getting most of the prizes while the tournament is going on, like week 1 tournament stuff, the round robin. So I'll be showing those off on social and in the Discord, and also in an official Kickstarter update for Gun and Guns campaign. So that being said, I mentioned this in last week's LionWing Plays. We're not just going to be playing Gun and Gun on LionWing Plays. We've been playing Gun and Gun on LionWing Plays for the past 5 episodes because I knew the tournament was coming up. I knew Gun and Gun was getting closer and closer, but we're also going to be playing other stuff. You'll be getting Wild Hunt Festival before Gun and Gun. I finally have a fulfillment date on that, which I'll be announcing in this week's Wild Hunt Festival campaign update. So we'll be playing some Wild Hunt Festival as well. You'll be getting Testament before you get Wild Hunt Festival, so we'll be streaming some of that as well. Sin had talked about wanting to stream some of that. And then we're going to be playing some Embryo Machine, which Embryo Machine will be interesting when juxtaposed with Gun and Gun. You know, Gun and Gun is a lot of pre-built stuff, right? I mean, you can customize your loadouts, but you're not doing that with your actual decks. Whereas Embryo Machine, you know, there's deck construction, essentially. You can play with pre-builts, like we have that option, and we outline what those pre-built decks are in the rulebook. Like if you're just trying to like jump in and play real quick, or if you're like someone who doesn't get into deck construction stuff, you totally got modes to play and you've got a lot to dig into there. But there's deck construction in Embryo Machine, and so you're gonna see a lot of that on stream too, especially as we get closer and closer to Embryo being delivered. Embryo's not due for delivery for another 7-ish months, 6 months. So we got some time there. I'll be excited to see what happens though from that game because there is a lot of customization options. So LionWing Plays is going to be more and more stuff. And then our future projects will also be played on here. As I mentioned, we've got at least one other competitive card game coming down the pike. I won't say when, but that's a thing that's happening that we're working on currently. So yeah, lots of stuff that will be on this particular show, and lots more stuff that you'll be hearing about, of course. Nevertheless, that brings us to the end of this episode. Episode 5 now is in the bag. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. A special shout out again to Af and Fern. Appreciate you guys. And we'll see you again. Don't forget that we've got LionWing Talks, our flagship show, happening in just 2 days' time. So Wednesday night, 9 p.m. EST on Twitch. If you can't join us live, which I encourage you to, because I answer questions in real time. A lot of people just drop questions in the chat while I'm doing that show, and I'll always make sure to answer those while I'm live. But if you can't join us live, just catch us on playback the next day. I upload that video overnight, and then it's usually available the following morning on YouTube. So check us out on YouTube as well if you can't catch any of these shows live, even LionWing Plays. This show will be up probably tonight around midnight, just because the upload time for this show tends to be a little bit smaller because it doesn't take us long. Because I tend to just ramble in LionWing Talks, which takes up a lot of the time. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. So, until next time, I'm Bradley Hailstorm. I'll see y'all around the corner. Take care.